Hi Collective, welcome to the channel. I'm Crystal, an intuitive psychic medium channeler. Hi everyone. So this is going to be a twin, or it's going to be projected for like the twin flames, right? But anybody, even if you resonate with that or not, I wanted to talk more about like a karmic relationship and the karmic twin flames, okay? And some would even say that there's no such thing as a karmic twin flame, okay? And it's really all just how you label it, you know? Like your karmics, your karmic relationships are literally like your soul's growth wouldn't happen. You wouldn't learn these lessons if you didn't have these evolved, I'm mixing this up. You wouldn't be able to evolve spiritually without these. So they're like your destined soulmates. So I feel like they even need a better name. You know, like you hear karmic relationship and you think like, oh, I went through pain and trauma because of it, where we learn the biggest lessons through pain that actually, you see what I mean? Like, they need a different label. It's like if you hear a karmic relationship, and for like those of you that are getting readings, you're like, oh, that's a karmic relationship, like steer clear of it, go this way. It's cheating you out of like your soul's mission, your path, your trajectory. Like you're not going to reach your twin if you don't go through this relationship, or even if it is your twin, like you're missing out on that experience. Hold on. Because it was labeled as karmic. Or for some of you, like, you're going to get out of this situation or relationship because it's karmic. Because, you know, karmic, or like, I don't know why I was just hearing like dark. Because I've heard like dark masculines and dark, and see, like, that's why I'll always say like dark divine masculines, because you know what, they're very our chosen ones that are fallen angels, because they're operating so much in their shadow. And you know that that's not their fault, that they took in so much darkness that they got trapped, okay, and that they are having trouble transmuting it. So now why should they be labeled as a karmic and completely avoided and left? You know, and to save these fallen angels, it takes an earth angel to be able to do such that. So there's a lot, I feel, of misdirection in people that are getting in the way of these contracts. Like, I know very much that I was contracted to my fallen angel, I knew very much. I was giving the readings on this a year ago, right? That was like a rescue mission for my twin. And you know, and it takes that bond and that connection to be able to withstand that. But at the same time, it also helped me, because I came down here like all butterflies, lights, and rain. You know, like I seen so much love in everything. Like I had to be toughened up, and like I didn't understand it, but I was so much in my light energy that I didn't have all this darkness. I just was transmuting all of it, and then I was getting taken advantage of, and I was giving everything away, and then I was the one that was behind closed doors, and you know, feeling all of these emotions and feeling trapped within, and it was, you wouldn't see that outwardly, but Most High knew how much pain that I was enduring when I was by myself, because of everything that I was taking in. So even though you may feel as though like, yeah, I don't need to be toughened up and go through that situation, like maybe just me do the work myself, like I wouldn't have ever have seen it that way, because in my mind I was just like, people are broken, all of that. What I'm getting at is I fully understand like why my twin, like I had such boundaries around my heart and walls, okay, that I wasn't letting anybody in. I was literally on this mission to like give love, and I was like, you know what, I love Most High, right? I'm here on divine mission work. Even if people don't treat me right, it's because they don't know how to. So I was just going on this mission, just giving love, giving, you know what I mean? But that's not what was part of the mission. Like I was being taken advantage of, right? too much, so that it wasn't allowing me to do my healing. And I was learning how to put those boundaries and learning off of people that were hurting me and misusing and mistreating me. But see, it then caused me to put all of these walls around my heart, okay, which was blocking me from letting love. So I wasn't actually experiencing love, right? So I wasn't able to feel love. So if it wasn't for my twin coming in, even in the darkest energy, and showing me love and having that connection to activate my heart and me go through this journey and this experience with them, even in his dark shadow side, I would have never opened up to love. Like, I'm going to tell you what, like, I've been in my relationship for the last, it's almost 4 years. And this relationship, like, I knew that I felt in love. I finally got to feel what love felt like for the first time. I got to experience jealousy. I got to experience, you know, where I was jealous. It was triggering my abandonment wounds. It was triggering fear. It was triggering, you know what I mean? Just all of those things, right? And teaching me how to have trust and all of that. And because we've been under so much attack, like, that was the first sign for me. Like, literally, I seen how everybody was attacking us, coming at us, nobody, like, and everything that was going on, like, I just knew. But anyway, and all the connections to realize, and just all the synchronicities, everything. Like, I know that everything's but like a reflection of you. That's why a lot of you get hung up with where false flames, where you think that they're yours, right? Because they're mirroring things, but it doesn't really matter, right? These labels don't really matter, because you can't get hung up on a person, because it could literally be your twin, or it might not be. But that's not what it's about anyways, because it's about getting whole and complete in yourself. And if you can't do that, then you're not going to be in union with your twin. And for some of you, that's not going to happen. So you're going to miss out on your chance with the twin flame love because they're not full and complete. You don't understand how challenging it is in this dark energy. We're constantly being attacked. Well, being a chosen one, you know that, right? That this love, you know, that's why I said in a reading I did 2 days ago that there's not one twin flame union out there. That there's not one twin flame journey like that is complete at this time that is in union. That is why we're about to see love that we have never seen before on this planet. Because you know what? The most highest love connection is about to come together, where two full and complete are coming together. And whether it's the actual twin flame counterpart or not, but it's going to be, these connections are finally going to be able to come together. But it's going to be coming together when nothing is going to tear them apart. That is why you have to fully be healed of every single thing that could possibly get in the way before integration can fully happen. Because if you've seen the runner chaser dynamic, that's why all of that happens. All the woundings, all of the attacks, all of the things are constantly coming at these beautiful love connections, right? That's what I mean. For some of you, like, your twin is like going to prepare you for that, and then it's up to you if you fully get incomplete. And it's supposed to trigger them, but it doesn't always work that way. It doesn't. And you can't go off of I did the work, so they're going to do the work and things like that, because everybody, we have free will, and everybody has to do their own healing. And you don't know the journey, the trauma and everything, you know, that is associated with that, right? Like, I feel to put more of my story out there, right? So like my twin, and I was explaining this in the last one, like, so he was heavily brought up religious, okay? And so he was heavily indoctrinated, his family, you know, pastors and the family, all of that, churches, and he went away to the church camps and school and all of that, right? And even like bringing his Bibles and all the, you know, all the book, everything, you know. And I'm very spiritual and never, you know, went to church or all of that, because I knew to stay away from all of it. Not that I don't believe, I just don't believe in the separation and all of that. To me, spirituality is above religion. Religion separates and shows you. Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into that, right? But so his family, so to be able to go against that, he would have to He's constantly, so how far deep do you want me to go with this? So anyway, like I literally seen like the attacks going through his family, right? As people that are heavily into the churches and religion and things like that can very much invoke spirits, dark spirits, right? Because anything that's an obsession leaves you open to Jezebel spirits, right? Or the Leviathan, right? Or the Ahab, all of these spiritual things, like whenever there's an obsession or fear or things like that, they get controlled, right? And especially with I'm not going to get too far into the churches and everything, but a lot of the false teachings and things like that. So a lot of people don't realize that they're embodying these spirits, right? Whenever you're around people like that, these spirits literally can jump in, out, all around, So it was like constantly I'd be like, we'd be fine when we're by ourselves, but as soon as he'd answer the phone to his mother, as soon as he'd get on the phone, then all of a sudden I was seeing the attacks and all of that. And, because he's went through so much trauma in his life, right? That he's got very close with his mother, and every single day, messages all throughout the day. It's just like, so it's like I can't have him choose me over his family, and to completely have to undo your whole learning system, and where he'd have to fully let go of his entire family for me, for us to be okay and not have these spiritual attacks through his family. That's a big thing to do, especially he's just now starting to open up to spirituality because everything's like against it. And then it goes back and forth, right? And especially his mother finding out that I'm a spiritual teacher and all the things, and then she's constantly, well, I shouldn't say it that way. She doesn't approve of it, so it makes him feel like I'm doing things that are wrong. And then you know what I mean? So, it's a big thing, right? And it's like, but at the same time, like, what's beautiful is such a fire, like he won't stop that. He tries to keep things separate and all of that, but he doesn't understand when he's embodying, right, these spirits that are constantly, because they come through the ones closest to you, right? So you can shut out toxic friends and the social medias and things like that. Literally, there was a frequency that was going through the social medias, right? And there's different things through the TV and all of that, but it's really hard to like isolate and cut out family, right? And so anyway, that's what I mean. Like, you don't know people's backgrounds, and it doesn't matter how much I heal. Like, yes, it's triggered him to do a lot of healing and things, but he's got to be willing to like completely let go of his family, because his family will never stop. And the forces that be attacking his family to get to us, like, he doesn't understand when he's embodying, he doesn't understand when he's, when his mother's just sending him messages every night, Jesus loves you, pray, da 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 da, and do the little chant, whatever, that he's reading it, he doesn't realize that. And so these relationships, are very, very challenging, and every situation is unique and different. But what I'm getting at is that, like, he opened up my heart to love, right? He was the only one that was able to get close enough to me to tear down these boundaries, right? To get close to my heart, and then to break my heart, okay? Like, I told him, like, we've been together for almost 4 years, but we've done the runner-chaser dynamic and all of that, and he's constantly triggering the abandonment wounds, and he doesn't realize it in his mind. Like, it's a different way. Like, it got very clever. Like, I've been abandoned. Like, it was like a big wounding for me. But it was like his mother will always come grab him and have him go stay at her house and all of that to leave me. And in his mind, like, he's listening to his mom, and like, you guys need a break. You need all of this. But with us being transitional living and all of that, and not being in the safe place, you know what I mean? Like, 14:44 on the clock is to say that. He doesn't realize that his family is, causing, but you know, getting in the way and meddling and all of that. But what I'm getting at is that all of those just got me more stronger and stronger and stronger and learning to overcome these things. And if I wouldn't have had this experience with the mystical, I would have never been opened up to love. I would have never had all of my woundings triggered and shown to me. I would have missed out on all of these things to make myself whole and complete, right? And that's why sometimes like you do have to, it's that saying, like, if you really love someone, like, you'll let them go. And I've told him that before, like, let me go, find your way back to me through love, which would mean ascending. And, you know, like, he would, you know, you have to fill the lack to be able to, like, you know, and that's why when we do have, and I'm like, even though they're triggering my woundings and stuff, maybe it's causing him to do some, and that's why whenever they do that, like, I won't talk to him at all. You know, and I will completely like ice him out, you know, so he's going within. So, you know, he's, you know, so I've been trying to use even the attacks on me as a way to try to get him to heal and you know, feel that void, feel that loss of, you know, and to find his way back to the connection. And each time it keeps coming. And that's why I keep saying, like, you know, that Most High, right, will stop when enough is enough. When enough is enough, or when I've learned enough, you know, when it's no longer triggering wounds and things like that. So if they do keep coming around and coming about, like, it's, and if it's affecting you in different things, like, it's teaching you and you're learning, right? So, yeah, you can't, like, just go off of, like, collective readings with the twin flames, because every single situation is unique and indifferent. And yeah, I know that, you know, like, on all this betrayal and all of that that goes on within the collective and all of that, and the third party and the cheating and all of that, the third party has always been his mother. His mother. But if you could read the energy, and because he was adopted, you know, I don't know if she's, you know, if that affects the energy or whatever, and it all depends on how the person is feeling in the energy. Like, sometimes people adopt children and love them in different ways, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, you can use your minds where you can go off of that, where that's what I mean, like, when you're reading energy, like, it could come up differently and things. And I'm not even saying it's that in that specific. I'm just saying that, you know, it's so hard with energy too when you're just reading it from an outside point and you don't know the full story. That's what I mean. I feel like a lot of people are relying so much on the collective and off of energy. And why I'm telling the story is to show you why you can't just, even getting a reading, even paying for a personal reading, we don't have enough time to hear everything that's going on normally with the amount of time frame that we have, unless, you know, that's why when you build a rapport with the reader and you do more and more readings, you know, then they can find out more and more, and you have more time to connect and find out more, and you can look into more. Like, I like to be able to ask questions and things like that, where I then can show, okay, so this energy, this is what's going on, you know, then this is definitely, you know what I mean? And instead of just reading the collective surrounding energies, because it can really impact things. But okay, they're having me reveal a lot on this one. But so that's what I mean. Like, if they just would have read the energy, like, oh, because he's a Scorpio too, so he always is getting read in that dark energy and stuff, right? But so he's in his darker side, but because of all the traumas and the woundings and everything. But see, that's why I've always trusted what I felt. If I would have went off of readings, if I would have went off of the betrayals and everything that he was doing our first year and all of that stuff, and I would have just given up, I wouldn't have had these 3 years that have been building and growing up. And we've had some beautiful, like, he's been, you know, the love of my life, but and I will always have love for him. But at the same time, like, it's also been the most painful relationship I've ever had, the most amount of pain. And that's why, like, at the end of the day, like, it's down to you. Like, yes, I forgive and all of that, and I see now why we're selected to do that. That's why it's the chosen. 1944 on the clock, is it saying that? That's why it's the chosen that have these true twin flame connections, these divine connections because they're painful. They're, you know, and it's sad too, because especially when there's trauma, which leads to people then engaging in lower activities. And just like when I pulled my energy back because I was wanting to really isolate and go through an initiation rite and really try to show him like his energy, then he thought I had interests else, so then it caused him to leave and then reach out to, you know what I mean? So it can cause, you know, people to go cheat and be an infidelity, and, you know, and then especially if alcohol is involved, and, you know, that causes people to, you know, to block their chakra systems, and then the entities get in and then they're targeting the chosen. So then it causes these Jezebel and these lustful energies, right? Cause it to go act out in ways. And that's what I mean. If you know what I mean, it takes us to have that forgiveness. Because if it wasn't us high-ranking angels here, we wouldn't forgive, because it's harder to forgive, right? It's really hard to forgive betrayals and things like that, but that's why we're having to really do that work and show everyone in the world and all of this, and that's why you have that forgiveness, that compassion or whatever. And so, I mean, I'm not saying that not everybody, you know, and I know there's a lot of beautiful people that do and things like that, but then at the same time, like, you got to have those boundaries too. That's why it takes the strongest to be able to do that, because that intense passion and love, but still, like, I know that because I love him so much that I'm willing to let him go and create that separation for him to be able to heal himself, because it's not going to happen around her. And then it's also like, I feel like his family gets targeted and his mother gets targeted because of the attacks, because we're together. You know what I mean? I don't feel like the attacks would be as strong if we weren't. So there's all of these things. 22 on the clock as I say that. There's so many like factors that go into this, that it's not for the weak. It's not they're not meant. Yeah, these connections are intense, and that's what I mean. Like, I knew the first time that I kissed him, and I was just like, oh my God, it was just like everything like I had never felt before. And so, yeah, there is that intense passion and chemistry, right? And but also because you're going through the activations the first time that you get together. So yeah, there's that, but to be able to endure all of the things, right? Like, if we didn't have that intense connection and love for each other, right? Then, you know, we wouldn't be able to stay to fight to heal each other and battle those things out, right? And then it's like, you would think that being with your twin is like so easy, you must get along and all of this stuff and everything's all perfect and all. No, it's not. It's just like when I get pissed off, I want to get left alone, right? So when he makes me mad, like, nope, I ain't gonna talk. So then he'd do the same thing. So we both don't talk to each other, and then we're both so stubborn, we don't want to, you know what I mean? Or then it's like constantly that fight, right, with one another. But that's what I mean, like, and you gotta learn to, you know how hard it is to compromise with yourself? Like, a lot of times you do you don't. There's a lot that goes into these things, right? But they're for a much bigger purpose, right? But that's why I'm saying, like, because of the way and the energies, like, this has all been preparation for what's to come. All of these connections that are going to be coming together, these sacred connections, that is going to be when they're safe. So that's why so many, it's like for your protection, a lot of you, that's why you're separated from your twin. Okay? And that's what I mean is, yeah, these unions are about to come together when they're safe to come together, when we have neutralized a lot of the energy, right? And that's where all of this healing is coming from. And yes, we are headed into that. But that's what I mean. At that point, to me, it's going to be a choice. For the twins that have not, like, ascended, like I said, my twin is very much struggling very much in his shadow. And, you know, he's done a lot of healing, right? But it's like, I don't feel that the rest of it will happen while we're together, right? So, you know, there's these very challenging situations, but then at the same time, like, he's so heavily attached to me, like, I don't want him to go give up that he has in the past and not want to continue the mission because we're not together. So I've been trying to find that safe place, right? So it's very, very challenging, right? 25 on the clock as I say that. So I don't know. I was told to put more of the story out there. I know that it can help some of you maybe understand, but don't get pulled into these collective readings, right? And be very careful. You know, twin flames, they're divine connections from Most High. They are. I mean, that's why I say all twin flames are part of the chosen 144,000. All the rest are literally, they get labeled that because we're in a mirrored reality. So yeah, you are constantly, you know, interacting with things mirroring you, and as you reach higher level soulmates and you integrate and get closer to people, they mirror you more and more and more, and everybody's looking for that divine soulmate to find that love and light and all of that. But it's really about loving yourself and coming back together with Most High. Like, that's what I mean. Like, really, you are your own twin flame. Okay, that for some of you, there's, because of the 144,000, literally divine feminine, divine masculine energies were separated, incarnated at different times in different bodies that come back together, but they have to come together whole and complete within themselves. And then when they come together for a divine union and divine mission in new earth, that is what they're for. And that's why I said, like, these are getting ready to commence. They have not commenced yet, but they're very, very important. And like I said, and even there's not all of them are, I mean, I'm not going to say not all of them, because they very much can, because you can very much trigger. But is it going to be like you coming together with your counterpart, like in New Earth? It might not, because then you might have choices and come together, or it might, you know what I mean? Like, maybe more separation needs to happen. Maybe, you know what I mean? Other things need to happen first. Right? So there's, never say never. Never say never. Things are always changing, being written. That's what I mean. That I've gone so many different ways with this. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I know what I know. Right? And I was like, well, am I getting corrupted? Because literally, like, I've been seeing... I'm going to quit trying to explain. But literally, like, a lot of these twin flame journeys are literally fallen angel, earth angel. And the fallen angel is the one that's more in the darker side, and it's about balancing out the earth angel. It's getting her earth angel. And what divine feminine masculine flip the rules, however, but that's what I mean. Like, it's... I don't know. I'm going to leave this one here. Good. I'm at 30 minutes. 2811 last source code number, also aka angel number 2818, because numerology to me is the first language of light. Just like the Bible, right, is because they've altered it, okay, but it's meant to be decoded. And when you 2833 on the clock, when you start looking up the numbers that you're guided to, okay, or even seeing numbers and looking up certain scripts and things like that, there can be synchronicities, right? That's what I mean. That's why there's numbers and all of that. It's all about how you use them and perceive them. That's something that I've been realizing, because certain numbers and frequencies that I'll be pulling in, and then I'll get guided to somebody that has that collective reading, and then hearing a scripture and things like that. So definitely the numbers are very important. First language of light through the numbers, right? That's why once you start to notice, like, the synchronicities, you know, repeating numbers, like, that's like when, like, divine's getting your attention. 111, right? They start to notice these things, right? And different numbers and different things, right? So I call them source code numbers, okay? So you can look up source. But I know that they sugarcoat a lot of them, but if you really want to break them down yourself, just if you learn the vibrational frequencies of the numbers, okay, as there's only 1 through 9, okay, look up each vibrational frequency and you can put together your own message, right? Synchronicity, and whatever you think, like, whatever your guides, when they start to realize that you start to notice things, right? Like, if you're starting to always look at a clock, or you're starting to look at your phone at a certain time, or license plate numbers. For me, it's receipts and it's purchases. Like when I'm ringing up, like I like to do the self-checkouts. So I'll ring up and then like they'll tell me when to look up at the price. And I won't be done ringing, but when I see those, I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? And so in different ways, like, so I know, like I always let the kids help me and stuff, but sometimes I'll be like, stop. And then I'll look at the number. I'll say, remember that number, tell me. Remember that number when we're done or whatever. So I look them up, right? And then they always guide me throughout the day. So I know that the collective, right? So many people put their opinions in things, and so take whatever you feel is for you. Like definitely don't get it. Like there was a while like I was getting really pulled into numbers and synchronicities. Like you gotta know when to take breaks and pull yourself out, because then things can start to be too much. Okay. But yeah, anyway. All right, I'm over 30 minutes. Bye guys. Love and light.